organizations representing all points in the supply chain. It provides global standards and services for over 1 million companies doing business in more than 156 countries. It operates in over 20 sectors, ranging from fast-moving consumer goods to healthcare, transport and logistics, defense, and aerospace. Next slide, please. Basically, the GS1 offers globally recognized identification for a variety of products that must be properly identified. GS1 offers global trade item numbers, or what we call GTIN, and global location numbers, or GLN, among many others, which are unique numbers that offer to store relevant information needed to trace the integrity of the whole supply chain. Also, as probably the most recognizable for all of us, GS1 offers as well barcodes that we often see in the products around the marketplace today. Our speakers from GS1 member organizations will be able to speak later very precisely on this different set of standards that will sure be of use to your businesses and organizations. These systems of identification can be used from production, distribution, down from a consumer receives the product, up to the consumer receiving the product. One can see relevant information pertaining to the product. This security of knowing what our product is, how it can be traced from one location to the other, and its contents, among many other attributes, gives that sense of soundness and reliability needed most especially in the food and agriculture sector. Next, please. Traceability system, such as the GS1 standard, will be able to identify threats such as diseases in agriculture and mitigate the risks that there are, which are passed on to the consumers. I would like to show this slide. Okay. Aside from the GS1 barcode, I'm citing an example in our company, Hyras Marketing Corporation. Incidentally, our major products, for every batch of raw materials received in our facility, there has to be a corresponding internal receiving code. As you can see, this is the farm, mango farm, and this is the factory. The internal receiving codes helps us to identify where and when these products and these raw materials, for example, mango and okra, was harvested, the name of the grower, the chemicals and pesticides used in the pre-harvest production up to the post-harvest operations. This internal receiving code is carried on until the final packing of the product. In the case of our product, fresh mangoes, processed mangoes, fresh okra, and frozen okra. Can you show that slide, please? This internal receiving code is carried out on the final packaging of the fruit or the vegetable, whether packed as fresh or processed, in the event of a product recall. When it's needed, we are able to trace and identify the source, and eventually, if there are any. These are now being applied by us in both our domestic and international markets. Can you show the other slide, please? A report, you can see this is the farm. We have a product farm code here, which is identified in the retail bags that can be used as a traceability identity in case there will be products, there will be a problem with the product, or there will be some other concerns that needed to be improved, or there are other things that need intervention. A report form outlines that indicates the different stages, the phases of production is filled out by our technical production team and personnel, which can be easily available upon request of our client. This unique piece of data code can be traced through the entire process flow, linking all sections of the business, including growers and future sales through the supply chain. And these interventions can ensure consumer food safety and quality. Next slide, please. So what do we need? We need GS1. As a food and agriculture agripreneur for the longest time, and an advocate of that, it is high time that we put in place and use a creditable set of standards for food and agriculture today. Can we show some slides here? Next slide, please. The reason why you can see this slide, which is Aspire, a collaborative project of the Philippine Chamber of Commerce, PhilExport, and PhilFoodEx as the private sector organization collaborating with DTI and the Department of Agriculture with the mission to extend support to our farmers to provide them traceability for this specific Philippine Chamber of Commerce, PhilExport, and PhilFoodEx are deeply involved as far as looking as the best methods of ways and means in order to grow agriculture to where it should be, of course, with proper emphasis on productivity, competitiveness, including food safety standards. Next, please. We have selected specific products that needs a lot of interventions from competitiveness and productivity, including traceability from the seed to the table. These are the commodity champions that have been given a big market. Now, by incorporating all these standards in the overall supply chain, each product sent out in the market can be classified, traced, and monitored. Incidentally, this is another project of the Philippine Chamber together with Agri-Food Hub with the same purpose of hand-holding the farmers and stakeholders on the correct approach to productivity and competitiveness that includes the food safety standards that are needed, and it has been a must right now because of the food security of the Food Safety Act that will already be implemented from all stakeholders, whether small, medium, or big operators in the supply chain. Now, in closing, ladies and gentlemen, the main objective of this year's GS1 Philippines National Conference is for us stakeholders to finally meet and share our plans and insights for our respective industries. That as we get along, we can identify our common objectives and concerns and collectively find solutions to better strengthen our respective industries. As for the food and agriculture sector, we are all accountable for the food that we bring to the table. It is but important that the safety of the consumers are guaranteed. I am confident that the private sector is working on these measures, as well as the government, as we collaborate and partner with the Department of Agriculture, as they have also highlighted that they will focus their initiatives, their funding in food and safety regulations that will go hand in hand and be partnered with the directions toward productivity, competitiveness, and our goal of food security. I'm confident that the private sector will be able to work closely with both the other private sector agencies and specifically the Department of Agriculture in achieving our goals of food security under the environment of competitiveness, productivity, and food safety for the consumers. At this note, I wish to thank everyone for spending time for this afternoon's activity. And we take with us to our organizations and to everyone looking forward to a better and productive panel discussion later on so that we can have better exchanges of views and suggestions related to the subject matter. Again, thank you and magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you very much, my fellow trustee, Mr. Amores. Very interesting presentation, and I'm sure that you have a lot of questions from our guests later on. Thank you also for giving out the functions of GS1 and its importance. Traceability is very important, as you mentioned, from seed to the table. And stakeholders right now that we are meeting right now is to formulate plans and insights to get to a solution to better strengthen each respective industries. Our next speaker represents the consumer sector, ensuring that product information empowers consumers and consumer safety. He's a senior fellow at the Ateneo School of Government and an adjunct faculty of Asian Institute of Management, a medical doctor by education, and a former DOH Undersecretary and former Director General of the FDA Philippines. He sits in a number of commercial and NGO boards. Everyone, please welcome the trustee of Laban Consumer Inc., Dr. Kenneth Hartigan Go.
Pleasant good afternoon to everybody, and I'd like to thank the organizers for this wonderful two-day seminar, including the ladies and gentlemen from the industry, officers from the government, and NGO stakeholder. I'd like to begin directly with three simple messages. The first one is because we live in an interconnected world, and in dangerous times this time, we need to reframe the issue. My second message is how will we analyze the barriers that we are seeing right now in pursuing our agenda? And the third one, the last message would be to propose a solution framework. Now, health products are products that are heavily regulated all over the world, not just in the Philippines. These products can help us, but it can also harm us if used properly. I'd like to offer a new policy perspective that health products must play an important and critical role in international health regulation, as well as global health security. And they want